What's up everybody, it's Kiyodo and welcome back to another SMT Dx2 video. Today we're going to be testing out Parvati against a no stance, single stance, and double stance team. So there are some different implications on how you use her because Joy Song is a pretty unique skill in the sense that she's fast as a unit. She has like pretty decent luck, so she has a decent evasion for that example. And that allows you to do some certain things with some fast combinations of demons that would usually not be able to use their skills because they cost 7 or maybe 8. And you can use these as hard counters, especially if you're doing revenges or just like regular PvP. Then Parvati is a pretty strong counter to a lot of teams, and you kind of use her as a buffer and a dodger, I guess. So she's kind of like a Nekomata A in an example, but it is a little bit nicer to have the auto Sakuka because if Nekomata A just happens to die, then her effect no longer works. So Parvati, if you make her a constant buffer, then you can allow yourself to keep buffing yourself up. Even if your opponent debuffs you or has auto skills that debuff you, then you should be okay. But otherwise, you can have some other auto skills like auto Tarunda, maybe auto Rakuga, or like maybe auto Taruka is very popular as well if you're trying to kill your opponent fast. So there are different ways that you can really build this Parvati, and it's nice to have this flexibility on a unit, especially when Masakado is in the meta, where Intimidating Stance is just really powerful, and you're now allowed to get off some pretty cool skills, and this is a really nice anti-meta choice. So I'm going to show you in the following clips how I work my Parvati in my teams, and I hope you all learned something from this, and maybe you can share your ideas in the comment section below as well. I'll see you all in a bit. Alright, so I'm going to be showing off a team with no stance. And first off, it looks like they have some pretty strong kill power here with the Susano, so that's going to hit pretty hard. That's definitely there to kill the Mother Harlots and the Anantes out there, but we're not running that, which is nice. The V is probably going to be pretty bad. Sea of Chaos reduces defense, so yeah, it's just for damage. Nero is pretty big, give you the buffs. And that's going to help the Guan Yu anyways with that buff, plus Nero just buffs himself, concentrate. And purple Guan Yu, which is going to make that a little bit hard if we don't mute him. But Parvati's not going to be doing her Joy Song chain effect, so it's not going to be that much of a use. We're going to be using her mostly for buffs. And going first is going to be a pretty big deal here, so let's do that. This may be bad, so we'll see how that works out. But I think it's gonna be okay because there should be no problem with passing turns, especially with the speed here. If we get lucky, especially, but we'll see. So let's see what I want to do because this is the first time we're using this, so maybe barrier break here, pass, and go into buff, so that, and then we can hit, so it's going to be a 3, and then we can go ahead and use Apocalypse for 4. Okay, let's see if that works. If I calculated this correctly, then we should be able to Blood Rush, and then yeah, okay, yeah, that pretty much works. We got to take out the V, it's going to be a big deal. And then we have just enough for this. There you go. The math did work. And we have Blood Rush buff. So we're going to be dodging them because they're muted. That's going to be pretty big, I want to say. And now, she does nothing. Maybe buff again, but hopefully we're not going to need that against this team because they're kind of squishy. We could like heal. But that also does like nothing. It could be bad to have some mana on her if they do get some sort of charm off. So I'm wondering what I should do about that. I think Silent Prayer is probably going to be the option that I'll have to use. So it does waste a turn. But it also depends on if they have ailment units or not. And it looks like we're okay. Damn. No Enduring Soul. Alright, so we're going to take on a single stance team now. It has Daisojo along with a Shiva A, which is going to be pretty crazy. Teal to cover the weaknesses. What is this, Teal as well? Yep, cover that weakness. And purple, so that's gonna pierce through ice, and that means that Kinmammon is gonna have to worry about that. And Daisojo with purple, so that means that Recarmdra is most likely eminent. And that means that we're gonna have to use D4M on him, but because it's single stance, we are able to get Apocalypse on turn 1. And I think we're gonna have to do that and skip the buffing part. So Shiva A is gonna be a big deal, and I hope that we can kind of take him out early, but Daisojo is the most important. We're gonna see how it goes. This is a little bit of a test. I mean, it is a pretty nice counter to have Parvati in this situation, but we're gonna have to see about this, because it'd be nice if we could get the buff off, but most likely we won't have enough turns for that, at least not on turn 1, because we need to die for me. And let's see, Joy's Song, good. Then we go Barrier Break, because they covered with Ward, which is really nice of them. Then hopefully that mutes everybody, good. Yep. And now, I think we set up properly here. It's weird that they're hitting Parvati, because I put a lot of evade on that, but sure thing. And I think I still want a Blood Rush. Damage is nice. We gotta push advantage somehow. Lucky Skip is just extra goodies, didn't need it. And now we're gonna have to take out Rama, otherwise we can't hit with AoE. It's a good thing that Shiva A is a mage, so it doesn't do that much physical damage. And we're gonna pass through. Don't really need a buff. You gotta die. Endure? Nope. Okay. And that means clean up here. I think this is pretty much just in the bag. Yeah. And I guess I gotta pass. Oh, look at that. Okay, come on. Bam! Thank you, Kinmammon. Just enough damage. Alright, and lastly, we're going to be taking on a double stance team. They're using Zhongqi instead of Cert, or I guess Baihu for that matter. Purple, which just makes sense, of course. So it looks like it has a decent amount of HP. Maybe it has life brands, but it didn't put that much into HP. It's probably more into like crit or accuracy for crit passing. Maybe there's like a Samrecarm on there. Purple Masakato. Because it's purple, I just probably want to say it's like double Endure with Enduring Soul. It looks like that's meant for crit passing as well. And you, purple too, so Auto Rakuga. Do you really need 2 of those? Because there's Heka on the team. Maybe it's a different one. But in any case, you have a bunch of HP, which is crazy. But I mean, I guess that's why they have the Heka in here. 4 stars, only level 39, and I'm wondering if that's on purpose, to be honest with, like, honestly, because, like, that could slow you down just enough to beat some other teams out there, especially with Nero being on the team. So, that might be on purpose, but it is double Auto Rakuga, so maybe, because if you do have some sort of, like, Auto Rakunda, or, like, Acid Breath, then they're still gonna one-up you, I guess, in a way. So, maybe not Acid Breath, because you have to have the auto, but in any case, this is going to give me just 2 turns to start. I think I'm just going to have to silence them. And I think that should be okay. Doesn't look that bad because they don't have anything that can deal with that. No V. So they're not getting 16 free hits, which is a good thing. Yeah, I think this will work out. Because this double stance team doesn't have V, it gets kind of destroyed. I think that is the big problem. Because we're most likely going to hit them, or most of them, hopefully, because Zhongqi sometimes gets away with his high luck. And there's one. Auto Tarunda. Interesting. On Zhongqi, huh? Okay. Barrier Break. Apocalypse. That didn't do too much damage, but that's okay. We just take out the Heka. And you missed. And you have Oni Kagura. Okay. That's perfect. I'm just waiting for one Zhongli to have like prayer or something, like Inferno Mask prayer, or like some sort of weird thing for Zhongli to have, because he does get away with a lot of stuff. It's kind of weird. So I guess we could just pass through and get some mana back, get some damage back too. Blood Rush, which is kind of why I picked Blood Rush over auto skills. It's because you can buff past like debuffs in case you don't like cover something. So it just tends to work out. Maybe we could keep Zhongli alive. He's not doing anything. Masakata's probably the bigger deal. Let's check out the damage on this guy. It's only 1400, which is weak. Weird. Alright, well. Bam. And I just did that because I wanted to increase the damage that I'm doing to them. We're gonna get more buffs next turn. We're still hitting Alice instead of the Parvati. Maybe Parvati has more HP. Blood Rush sounds good. So does Mabadoon. Not doing enough though. I wonder if they have like a high M-Def or something. But it does not matter. So you... Flop. Shove that person away. Yeah, that's right. You say no. Enduring Soul. Really, really good stuff. Blocks against the first and or second wave of defense support ring. And you're Gonzo. Yeah, it actually works out. No V on a double stance team. It's pretty vulnerable.